Jill and Catherine. Jill, say something. Let me see if I can hear you.
How's this?
Good. I can hear you. I've got an ask to unmute. Um, oh, it's on Catherine's here though. So Catherine you must be muted on your end, Catherine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't matter, but hold on a second. I got to adjust some. Okay, let's do FANG Gong today. So one of the advantages of doing fangs and gong, you can do this actually in any qigong, but it works better in fangs and gong than almost all the rest of them, is to notice the stiffness in your own body. This stiffness that we get in our body is habitual. It's almost always unconscious. Why do we get stiffness in the body? Because it gives you a kind of strength. It's a very brittle kind of strength, but still it's a kind of strength. So whatever you're doing during the day, right? Maybe you're standing up and you're working, and the truth is you get tired. How many? At least two of you guys have cats, right? Jill has cats and Jack has cats. What do they spend half their life doing? Exactly. Resting. Sometimes they're sleeping. A lot of times they're just resting. They're just sort of zonked out there. How much time do we spend resting? We don't even rest at night because we're so wired up during the day that it takes most of the night to unwire, and then you got to get up again. So what happens is you actually have this deficit inside, this kind of tiredness inside. And so you have to find some strength somewhere. And instead of having the green kind of strength that you would get from being well rested, instead you substitute a kind of stiffness. And when I say you, I mean all of us. When you're doing Fang Zong Gong, because it's so slow and so gentle, one of the things that you can do, you probably ought to do, when you do this, because it's just a very simple movement, look inside as you're doing these movements and see if you can find the places that are stiff, that have stiffened up. So you have two tissues that do this all the time. One of them is your cartilage, all right, so around your joints. The other one is this sort of magical tissue called the fascia. And fascia used to be defined as a kind of integument that was surrounding the muscles. So this muscle, that muscle, etc., etc. Now, some folks are looking at it and going, actually, there's only one fascia. It goes through the whole body. It's a single tissue, just like your skin is a single tissue. And if that fascia gets kind of locked up, that will give you a kind of strength. Okay, I can stand up and still pack groceries or do whatever I'm doing. But man, it's a bad habit to get into. So when you are looking inside yourself, two places that I look are up and down my spine on each side and my pelvic girdle, especially the relationship between my lower back and my hip joints. That's where I habitually put a lot. They say you store stress in your body. That's what I'm talking about. You're storing stress in the body and sort of hardening things around that in order to give you some strength. But it's not good strength. It's very stiff strength. So instead, right, do what Catherine's doing there and just feel. And when I'm doing that, watch my shoulders. Sometimes as I'm doing that, I'll go, oh, there's like a stiffness between my shoulder blades. So I'll lift one just a little higher. Right? Just kind of do it just a little bit more. And what almost always happens is I'll get some spontaneous adjustments in the spine and on either side of the spine. And for the pelvic area here, I do what everyone does, right? You sort of lift it and tighten everything up and tighten your knees, and that gives you this strength so you can stand there. But boy, it's very stiff. So what I do is I let myself sink into the quad. If you think of the quad, not just as the hip joints, but as this whole basket, like a bowl, a big salad bowl. Let yourself just sink down to the bottom of that bowl. And you may also get some adjustments in the lower back and in the SI joints. And just relax. Up between my shoulder blades. And then down in the quad. And again, let your shoulder blades relax. Let your quad relax. And you'll know that you're relaxing in this area here, and in the lower lumbar area on either side of the tailbone. You'll know you're relaxing when your toes start to heat up, because now you're relaxed, and now the blood and the chi is flowing freely. So when you're doing bear pause like this, think about your microcosmic orbit. The Dumai up and down the back, the Renmai up and down the front, right? They're not just little lines. There's like the whole washing, right? When you're coming up like this, you're coming up the Renmai. It's going to come up the renmai, and then it's going to go over the top of the head and down the dumai, and then under the crotch and up the renmai and down the dumai. Only the other side's doing just the opposite. And you have to picture this in your mind, right? So I'm coming up the renmai on the right side, but I'm going down the dumai in the back on the other. So think about this. What are you actually doing when you're doing this exercise? All right, watch. Shift your weight. Shift your weight. You're actually running in place. All right? It's a running exercise. Whole body. Okay, so why don't they just have you run? When you do this kind of an exercise, there's no impact. The body's not getting jarred, right? And it's not moving really fast, it's moving slowly. So what happens, what should happen, is you're cleaning out the energy channels. It's just like cleaning leaves out of the gutter. Annie and I noticed our front gutter we had a thunderstorm the other day, was spilling over. So it's probably stuffed with leaves. All right? I'm going to clean those out so that the water, the chi, can move freely through those channels. All right? So for the first, yes, let's say you do this exercise 36 times. Maybe the first 20 times that you're doing it, you're actually cleaning the channel out. So it may feel a little clogged up, but as time goes on, it starts to feel freer, starts to feel cleaner. And then you really start to feel the energy just moving without obstruction through the body. Oh, it feels great. Feels good. And good. So, we put this, we looked at a bunch of FANGs and GONG, and we put together 8 moves to make this routine. But in real life, when practitioners actually do this, they don't usually pull the routine out and do all 8 of them. They might only do 1 or 2. It's much less formal than a teaching situation. So I don't know how many we did. 1, 2, 3. We've done 3. Let's do one more. Let's do the Emperor's cartwheels. Emperor's cartwheels are uh, very similar looking to bear paws. But see if you can, as we do this, see if you can tell what's the difference between these two. Why do 2 of them? What is the advantage to one? What is the advantage to the other? And reverse. So, Catherine, what's the difference between this and this?
um, with bare paw, you are pressing down and going up. So it's not. I mean, I don't know how to explain. I feel the difference, but
Yeah.
I was going really slow, both of them, to try to see the difference, and I'm not sure that I know how to explain. But anyway, for bare paw, you're really pressing down, and then you going up. So and I can feel I can feel the pressure of the air going up or
Yes.
going down.
Yes.
With the cartwheels, I don't feel that the same way. It's
what
like
do,
I do feel I mean, I don't know how to explain. I do feel the difference, but I don't know how to explain.
You actually did a good job of explaining it. It's very difficult to put these things into words. Words are over there. These experiences are over here. All right. But however, if you ever decide you want to teach this, you have to figure out how to put it into words, and it's hard. I think, Catherine, what you were trying to say is, or the point you were trying to make is, bear paws like this really focuses on this movement here,
Yeah.
where the emperor's cartwheels is much freer. Right? Now, that's not the only thing you could say about this, but yes, that's really legitimate. All right, Jack, what about you? Any thoughts?
Yeah, a few. One is like I feel like the cartwheels is more, it's bigger, it's more external. The for me, the microcosmic orbit in cartwheels is more pronounced.
Uh-huh.
Um, in the bear paws, even though we're going up the Renmai and Dumai, I feel like I'm stretching the
Yes.
Chongmai, where I'm not. I don't feel that in cartwheels. Also in cartwheels, my hands throb more. That image you brought up a long time ago about the chi dripping off,
Yeah.
and then like kind of going through troughs of honey on the way back.
Yeah.
It's just sort of the sensations are quite different.
Yeah. So superficially, they look they look somewhat similar, but if you really stop and look at it, wow, they're actually quite different. Yeah, there's some structural similarity. You know, one side's going up, one side's going down, one side's going around, right? Jill, what about you? Any observations?
Yeah, the bear claws are it's that sense of pung energy and yeah, really the sense of
Stretching.
stretching
Yeah.
and the thoracic piston. Whereas with the yeah, definitely feeling for the cartwheels, like I'm riding the waves of the microcosmic orbit,
Yeah.
swimming in the yes.
Swimming. That's exactly the word I was looking for. It is like swimming. Huh? It's like swimming. The emperor's cartwheels, right? Where the bear paw, that's much more like running like this. Right? Where the other is much more like swimming. And yet there are also real similarities between the two. Right? But you're gonna see and feel different things. For me, personally, when I do bear paws, it seems to me that it's focused in on the center of the body. And you really feel that stretching, right? One side is condensing, but the other side is stretching. Now the left side condenses and the right side stretches, right? So it's this back and forth. And you're also doing the microcosmic orbit too, right? But it's focused in, it's very intense. When I do Emperor's cartwheels, now I'm not focused in, now I'm opening up. Somebody, Jack, I think, said more connection with the world. Yeah, exactly. Are there similarities? Sure. If if every time you move your right arm, you turn your head clear over here and take a deep breath, you'll see how close it is to swimming. Right? And then reverse. Also, when I'm doing bear paws, I'm focused in on here, but the focus kind of goes from the top of the head to the bottom of my spine. It's really focused on the spine. For me, when I'm doing the Emperor's cartwheels, oh, it's my whole body, all the way from the bottom of my feet to the top of my head. So less focused on the spine and more on the whole body. So you can see, I hope, why they do these together, why they're such a good pair. Because one takes you in and really works it, and then after you do that and clean everything out, then you open up and just let yourself be in the world. Okay, any questions? Any last thoughts or comments?
I just wanted to point out, so I have a lot of trouble in my quad because I have ankylosing spondylitis, and its favorite place to basically inflame is the sacroiliac.
Right.
And thank you for the note is like sink, sink, sink.
Sink.
Because yeah, sink in that
Relax.
ball. And I
Yeah.
was feeling my toes, which
Yeah.
is actually,
Excellent.
yeah, it was great. Thank you.
Well, Jill, I feel you because my own injury is in my spine, right back here, and this hip is starting to develop some probably arthritis and some problems too. If I didn't do these exercises, guys, I would be in a month or two. I would be a mess. So these exercises keep the bad stuff. It's still there. It's never going to go away, but it keeps it to a dull roar. And most of the time, it doesn't really bother me. I don't really notice it very much. All right. Any other thoughts? All right, guys, have yourselves a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.